Orders brought to you by the one, the only First Round Collectibles. Right now, with our promo code Sports Addict, get 10% off whatever sports card you want in the entire First Round Collectibles store. They have an ongoing sale up to 50% off, tons and tons of cards. Once again, whatever you want, football, basketball, hockey, wrestling, boxing, whatever it is, they got it. Promo code Sports Addict for 10% off. And like I said, sale up to 50% off. And with our promo code Sports Addict, not only do you get 10% off of regular price items, but sales items as well. 20 becomes 30, 30, 40, 40, 50, 50, 60. You get the picture. So head over to firstroundcollectibles.com today. Use promo code Sports Addict for 10% off sales and regular price items. That's the number one. STRoundCollectibles.com. First Round Collectibles, sports cards for sports fans.
Yeah. Let's go. We just gotta go hard. I go the hardest. I bring the pain. Not what you used to. It's all part of the game. Yeah, I just gotta go hard. I just gotta go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Yeah. Oh yeah, the beast back.
And welcome to this Tuesday betting preview edition of Pucks Across Borders on Total Apex Sports. Brought to you by the one, the only First Round Collectibles. Use promo code Sports Addict for 10% off your order. Happy Tuesday. Happy belated Thanksgiving to all of our Canadian viewers. I'm sure, like you guys down there, the Tuesday hangover is real. Like, not even the alcohol hangover. I'm just talking stuffed full of just every meal imaginable. And I'm moving slow today, Andre. But how are you doing, man? You get a little, I guess you got the Yankees tonight, but lots of New York sports over the last couple days. How you feeling on a Tuesday morning, bro?
Feeling good. These nights, I guess, have been kind of eventful and stressful, but I'm doing pretty well. Can't complain. Rangers picked up the dub last night. Yankees picked up the dub last night. Giants did not on Sunday night, but, is that really surprising? Especially when they're at home. We've already talked about this. No, I'm doing pretty well otherwise, though.
I gotta say, man, I can't remember what we talk about on air or off air. I don't remember. So if we talked about this yesterday, who knows? But I like watching the Giants play this year, bro. I don't know what it is about them. I know they only got the touchdown or whatever, but I like watching that team play. And I thought they had a chance, man. The Bengals are not good. They're not. They got Joe Burrow and they got phenomenal receivers, but they're not a good team. But listen, bro. We got 9 games to get into tonight. I think 9, 8, 9, something like that. Lots to get into. So let's just hop right into it. What was your takeaway from yesterday? There was only 6 games, but a lot to choose from. Kings Senators was the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. Lots to get into. So what was your takeaway from the NHL last night?
Yeah, I don't know if I have a takeaway from King Senators as much as just what happened. Just baffling game. But my takeaway is definitely in Denver.
Man.
We were expecting Colorado to finally get that dub, and instead, giving up a lot of goals, we expected that from them at this point. They're 6 to the Islanders, though. That's rough. Only scoring 2. That's brutal. They got blown out again. They're 0-3. They're a mess. There's no other way to put it. I don't know what's happening over there, but we said before the season, if Georgie and that goaltending unit wasn't getting the job done early, they needed to swing a trade because that window is closing. And it is. How long has this season been? How old is the season? A week?
Yeah.
A week tomorrow, I believe. Yeah, they need to start looking for goalies ASAP because they have too much talent to not make the playoffs or compete for a cup, and it's trending that way based on the 20 goals they've allowed in 3 games.
Whew.
Is that? Well, I think that's the proper math.
And I mean, I would love to know this. I'm up here, obviously, in Canada, so I can tell you the answer up here. But overall, based on the different markets, which market is overreacting the most right now? And this isn't to do with yesterday, but is it Colorado or is it Edmonton? Which two markets are overreacting the most right now? Because yeah, it's been ugly in Colorado so far, and they're not really scoring either. That's the thing too, right? Is they're not really scoring. They had 34 shots last night. So now, full disclosure, I had Thanksgiving things going on, so I caught the back half of a lot of those late night games. I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but yeah, dude, between Colorado and between the Oilers, that's some tough stuff right there. My takeaway, I don't really have one necessarily. I think the Senators and the Kings, Allmark last minute declared not in the game yesterday, could be dealing with an injury. We'll see as the days go on. But Allmark's not in the net, and the Senators give up 7 goals, and somehow they pull out the win 8-7. I know that I'm talking about this a lot, and I know nationally in America people might not care about this. I watched the third period of that Montreal Pittsburgh game yesterday, and I know Pittsburgh won 6-3 with the empty netter. Montreal dominated the back half of that period, and I'm telling you, that Lane Hudson kid, that defenseman, to put him in the likes of Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes, like he's played 3-4 games in the NHL. So, but that kid, like, they're losing 5-3. They pull the goalie with like 2:45 left, and he was on the ice for the whole last 2:45. Like, they already know what this kid's about. Montreal, man, Pittsburgh, that they got the win. Good for Pittsburgh. They have aspirations of making it to the playoffs. Whether they're realistic or not, we'll see. But I'm telling you guys, if you're, it's a Monday night, Tuesday night, your team's not playing, and you have access to the Montreal game, watch that team play, man. They got some really good kids. Whether they win or lose, you're in for a good game. So watch that Montreal team. If your team's not playing, the Yankees aren't in the playoffs, or whatever the situation is, there's no football on, and you have access to Montreal Canadiens, watch them, because they got some really good talent, and they'll be fun to watch throughout the year. All right, let's dive right in to the games on the ice tonight, starting with the Florida Panthers, who got the win against Boston last night or yesterday afternoon or whatever. Florida minus 162 favorites in Columbus, plus 134. The minus 1.5 for Florida is plus 150. Plus 1.5 for the Blue Jackets is minus 182, which I find pretty respectful on the Columbus side of things. Over 6.5 plus 100. Under 6.5 minus 122. What do you see, Florida, Columbus?
Yeah, well, I don't know. This is going to be weird. I think I'm going to take Columbus in this game, though.
All right.
I know Florida's coming off a win, their second of the season. They needed it. But they've only beaten the Bruins, and, those are bigger games. They've struggled on the road, really. Their home opener, they absolutely cruised, and then the next 3 games, 2 disappointing losses, and then a narrow win over the Bruins. The second half of a back-to-back for them. I know Columbus isn't good, but I feel like this Panthers team has been disappointing thus far. And while they're going to be good enough to compete, just absent Kachuk coming off, beating a rival and then having to go to Ohio, I just don't see it. It's weird. I'm probably going to regret taking this risk, but I'm taking the risk. I'm taking the Columbus plus 134, plus 135, whatever you got it at. I think DK has it at plus 130. I don't know. I have to see Florida beat a non-Bruins team, and then on the second half of the back-to-back when you're already shorthanded, not a short travel. Like there's just a lot of things in play here. I just don't like
Sure.
Florida tonight.
Well, and I do think, this is just off the top of my head. Maybe this isn't accurate, but like to me, I feel like even though they're at home, plus 134 is pretty respectful. Like we see some of these odds every day. We look at all these odds, and I feel like in February, Columbus, Florida game in Columbus, they're like 150, 160 underdogs. You know what I mean? Like, or like 148 or something. So I kind of feel like the books are telling us that they expect this game to be close, and plus 1.5 to be minus 182. I feel like that's pretty respectful as well. I'm not going to pick a side here just because I don't like the money line on the Florida side. Minus 1.5 plus 150. I do think it's going to be a closer game, but I also don't have the stones that you do to take Columbus. I like the over here, 6.5 plus 100. Goaltending defense for Columbus, not great. And it's a back-to-back for Florida. So I feel like the over is a really, really good bet here. Over 6.5, and you're getting plus money, plus 100 on FanDuel. So give me the over. I also feel like he got another one last night. I feel like Sam Reinhart is a good bet to get a goal tonight. He's plus 105. Maybe one of the most underappreciated 50 goal scorers from last year. Just still, is he going to do it again? Well, he's already got a couple cookies so far this year. Got one yesterday. So I like Sam Reinhart to get a goal tonight. All right, moving on to a good game. I don't know, maybe game of the night. I mean, Devils Carolina could be up there as well. Vancouver plus 114 on the road in Tampa Bay minus 137. Plus 1.5 for Vancouver is minus 220. Minus 1.5 for Tampa Bay is plus 180. Over is 6.5 at plus 100. Under is minus 122. What do you got, Vancouver, Tampa Bay?
Yeah, really good game. Vancouver, the thing about them early on has been 2 overtime defeats, and in both games they were leading entering the third period, and just leading in general, but couldn't finish the job. The thing for Tampa early on, they've only played once. I mean, they're pretty well rested considering the only game was Saturday. This is their home opener after, Milton canceled their first. Was that their second game? It was supposed to be their second game. So I don't know. Tampa looking pretty good in this. It's going to be a close competitive game, but kind of like I did when they played the Canes. I think with everything going on in that region right now, it kind of means more to them. I still like Vasilevsky. I still like Kucherov in that power play. Maybe not the Tampa Bay team that you expect to win the title every year, but this is a really good team, and Vancouver can't seal the deal. So I'm going to take the Lightning money line, minus 137. You have it on FanDuel. DK has it at minus 135 right now. Might go to overtime. That's what we're seeing with the Canucks, but I expect the Lightning win. I would like the over more than anything, too. Just throw that out there.
Yeah, I mean, the over is a good play just because who the heck knows what's going on with this Vancouver goaltending, man. I have no idea what to expect. It's funny that you said the overtime thing, man, because that's the first bet that I went to in the specialty market, game props, plus 370 for a tie. That's the first thing I went to because, yeah, man, that's the early trend, right? Vancouver's lost 2 games to start the season, both in overtime. So to me, plus 370, that's a nice long shot bet for that game to go to overtime. Both very good offenses, right? Both these teams are going to score. I like the over, but I like that plus 370 to go to overtime. I do think until further notice, man, I I gotta see more from this goaltending for Vancouver. I think that Vancouver is a better team. I think that Vancouver, that plus 114, if this was, last year or Demko and net, that plus 114, I'm on it all day. But that goaltending, I'm concerned about it. And until I see more, I'm taking Tampa Bay as well on that money line. Now, we were going to talk about a different game or two more games before we got to this, but there's some breaking news. So we're going to flip over to the Minnesota St. Louis game a little bit later in the evening. Breaking news: Joel Eriksson Ek, broken nose, and Jared Spurgeon. What did I tell you during the full team previews? Jared Spurgeon needs to stay healthy for this team to do well. He's such a good defenseman, underrated because he's always hurt and he's always out. Missed most of last year. He is out with the lower body. So Minnesota without Joel Eriksson Ek and Jared Spurgeon. Jared Spurgeon's just listed as a lower body, so who really knows? I haven't looked into too much. So when I typed this in, Minnesota was minus 118 favorites, St. Louis minus 102. It is now even money, minus 110 both ways. Plus 1.5 for Minnesota is minus 275, minus 1.5 for the Blues, plus 220. Over is 5.5 at minus 128. Under is plus 104. I know that you hate the Blues, so like St. Louis, it's your least favorite city in America. You've made that very clear. What does this change anything for you? What do you see coming into this game? Joel Eriksson Ek and Jared Spurgeon are both, they're not nobodies. Like, they're very important people to this Minnesota team. So what do you see going into this game tonight?
Yeah, they are important. We knew health was going to be important for this Wild team, period. This entire season, they kind of sunk the ship last season. And the Blues took 3 or 4 from them last season. They took the last 3 matchups in particular. So it's kind of an uphill climb, but it's too early in the season for me to admit that the Blues are maybe better than I thought. They've played, I don't know, they escaped against the Sharks. I'm not going to call that a good game. But nice comeback against Seattle. They played tight against Vegas. It cost me some money with that late goal at the end. We don't want to talk about that. I'm not ready to admit that they're better than I thought yet. So I'm going to take the Wild here, even with the injuries. This is a stubborn pick.
It really is. Yeah. It really is. Very hard-headed by you. Yeah. I don't know which way I was going to go beforehand. This is one of the harder games in the night for me, but I'm picking St. Louis here, man. At minus 110. I watched every St. Louis game for some reason. I don't think that was on purpose. It's just kind of how things kind of worked out. And St. Louis, I mean, I get what you're saying, how they escaped against the Sharks, granted. However, you're down because they were down what, like 4-1 or something like that to the Sharks, I think.
They looked dead big, in the water. It was 4-1 entering the third.
Yeah, 4-1. They come back, they win the game in overtime. Guess what, Andre? That's what good teams do against bad teams. You get off to a bad start, you're down and out, you're facing an awful team on the road, nothing to lose. Go out, get the job done, and they did that. And the Blues, aside from those 2 periods, St. Louis has looked pretty good. Now, they love losing games and coming back like to win. I'm pretty sure both wins they were losing by multi goals and came back to win the game. So I haven't looked at this deep enough to see if there's a coming back from behind bet. There has to be something like that, right?
Yeah.
There has to be something like that.
I mean, I'm looking under game props now. Yeah, team to win from behind. Blues are plus 360.
Done. Take it. I love it. to win from behind. I absolutely love it. Plus 360. Yes, great odds. I'm picking St. Louis here. Also, we called him out during the team previews, and so far he's been delivering, man. Jordan Kyrou. He has the talent and the ability to change a game. And he's been doing that so far in the 2 wins this season. For Jordan Kyrou to get a goal is plus 200. I think that's terrific odds for a guy who can put the puck in the net like he can. So give me Jordan Kyrou plus 200 to score, and give me St. Louis on the money line. What do you got?
No. I was just being snarky. It's not important. I was just going to push back on the what good teams do thing, you know? I watched the Sharks beat the Rangers and the Oilers last year, so I don't really buy that.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I'm going to stand on whatever leg I can, bro. I'm going to stand on whatever I can. How you're being stubborn, I'm feeling the opposite way with St. Louis. Like, I feel like the more you hate on St. Louis, the more I think they're going to win the Stanley Cup for 2 years in a row. I might even carry this over to next year. All right, let's go back up to earlier in the evening. The Las Vegas Golden Knights in Washington. Washington plus 112 at home. Vegas is minus 134, minus 1.5 for the Golden Knights is plus 188, plus 1.5 for the Capitals, minus 230. Over is 5.5 at minus 130. Under is plus 106. What do you got? Vegas, Washington. And is it just me, Andre, or do I already not know what this Washington team is? Like, it's only been like 2 games and I'm still, or 3. How many have they played? 2, 3?
They've only played once.
Oh, they've only played once. So there you go. I already don't know. What do you got, Vegas, Washington?
Well, that Washington game was weird. They scored first, you know, feeling good. They're at home. It's their opener. It's usually a tough building to play, even when they're not that good, you know. Like last year, it was still a kind of tough place to play. Yep. Gave up 2, tied it, gave up 2 more, cut it to 1, and then the empty netter sank. Cut it to 1 early in the third. So, like, they were in that game, but at the same time, they were allowing, you know, consecutive goals. They were allowing goals in bunches, if you will. So you could say they got outplayed. At the same time, they were fighting the whole time, you know. It's a whole thing. Washington's just such a weird team. What I do know is that Vegas has looked really good. We expect them to be good again, especially if they're healthy. They've looked the part. They've played the part. Their 60-minute line is plus 110. I love it. I think they win this game. I'll say comfortably. I don't think they're going to win, or it's possible Washington keeps it within 1 goal, but I don't think they ever threaten to actually take a point or 2 points away from Vegas. You know? So I'm going to take that 60-minute line at plus 110. I like the plus odds there. Don't really know what to do with the total here, so I'm going to stay away from that. But Vegas should win. I expect Vegas to win, especially the way they've been playing so far.
Yeah, I think the under being at 5.5 is more of a shot at like Washington, just having no idea what this offense is so far. I'm in a really tough spot in my fantasy world because if Lindgren and Aiden Hill both play, those are both my goalies. So I'm in a weird spot. I'm praying for the under, and at least I get a guaranteed win, right? The goalies aren't listed on FanDuel or anywhere. Do they have them there on DK?
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up now. Taking a while, and we do not have anyone listed.
No. So that doesn't matter for the game. That's just my own self-centeredness talking about my fantasy team. I'll take Washington here too. Vegas here too on the money line. Vegas has looked really good, man. Like, I know we're just gonna say this. I don't know when we stop saying this, but it's not yet. It's still early. The season's just started. But Vegas is looking really strong right now, man. They're looking really good. And I'm just going to take them on that money line. The odds are good enough to just like roll with the money line. Don't get too greedy with it. I also, Barbashev started the season with 3 goals, the leading goal scorer for Vegas. Plus 320 to get a goal tonight. And he has 3 goals through 3 games. So if you're looking at the trends, maybe he keeps it up. Plus 320 for Barbashev to get one home tonight. So I like that one. All right. Moving on to the New Jersey Devils in Carolina. The New Jersey Devils breaking our hearts last night on that. Was that the only loss that we had on our best bets? What did we have? Oh, no, I had Montreal, didn't I?
Yeah. Panthers won. That was a family bet.
Yeah. But New Jersey Devils plus 128 on the road. Carolina minus 164. These odds, I don't know if something happened, but when I typed this in 20 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago, it was plus 128. It's now plus 136 for the Devils to win. And Carolina is now minus 164. That's a pretty big swing. Minus 1.5 for Carolina is plus 150. Plus 1.5 for the Devils, minus 182. Over 6.5 is plus 108. And under is minus 132. What do you got, Devils, Hurricanes?
Yeah, it is weird because Markstrom is in net. He's the only goalie I have listed on DK right now. So I don't know what that's about. Besides the fact that Vegas simply loves Carolina, they always have.
Yeah,
they have the past few years, and just I guess it's staying. I'm expecting. It looks like Kochetkov is gonna start tonight, even though it's not official. So I'm gonna roll the dice on the under here. Markstrom versus Kochetkov, 2 teams that expect to make the playoffs, 2 teams that want to play each other tough, send a message. It's under 6 at plus 102. 6 is a solid total for a hockey game, That's like 4-2. If you're theoretically a push. With Canes hockey, especially their style, they like to make it, they take a 1-0 lead, they take a 2-0 lead, and just kind of make it a grind after. So if Carolina, especially if they score first to keep it tied, I think that under's a really good play. So I like that. Plus 102, under 6 on DK. I'm going to roll with it, especially with the 2 goalies I think are the best for the respective teams between the pipes. As far as picking a side, Jersey's looked really good, but Carolina, they have to get that first win under the belt, right? I think Carolina would win this game, but I'm going to stay away because I don't really like their odds, and I'm not confident enough in them to pick like a puck line or a 60-minute line.
Yeah, I'm taking the Devils in this game. Carolina's one of those teams for me, man. I've seen enough from the Devils so far. We got to watch both of their games in Prague. The game against the Leafs was the outlier so far through 5 games. I really like. I just don't. It's not even so much about the Devils, to be honest with you. Carolina is one of those teams. I know that they brought pieces in, but they had so many pieces leave that they need to show me. Like I still, they're one of those teams that I'm really not sure what to do with yet, and I just need to see more from them. And the Devils, they've like that game yesterday was the Devils game, start to finish. No goals for the first little bit, but they broke through, beating Utah 3-0. That game against the Leafs, like I said, they're in Prague for a week. They come home, they don't play hockey for almost a full week. I like this Devils team, and I think that they will beat Carolina tonight. I'm taking that plus 128. Now, Paul Cotter leads the Devils with 4 goals so far this year. Scored a couple times in Prague and scored again yesterday or Saturday, one of the two. He is plus 550 to get a goal tonight. So again, you're looking at the guys who scored multiple goals to start the year. He already has 4. He's plus 550 to score tonight on FanDuel. So looking for a long shot bet. I love it. Paul Cotter plus 550, and I'll take the Devils plus 128. All right, moving on. San Jose plus. Here it goes, bro. We're starting already. Just the outrageous odds. We're here now. It's officially hockey season. Plus 300 for the San Jose Sharks. Minus 385 for the Dallas Stars at home. Minus 1.5. This is where it gets like comical. Minus 1.5 for the Stars is minus 140. Plus 1.5 for the Sharks is plus 116. Over 5.5 is minus 142. Under 5.5 is plus 116. Making it so that if you want to bet Dallas, you can't. What do you got? Dallas, San Jose.
What I have is more of a question. This game is in Dallas, so I don't think we're gonna disagree on the outcome as far as who gets 2 points tonight. But minus 2.5, DK has it at plus 140. Do you trust Dallas enough to take win by at least 3 goals over the minus 1.5 at minus 135? That's question number 1. Question number 2, I like the over more in this game. Over 6, I have it at minus 108. I don't know about you. Obviously, they're expecting Dallas to win by 2 or 3 goals. That means they score at least 2 or 3 goals, probably more like 4 or 5. I kind of like San Jose's offensive potential. What that roster's doing, I know they got shut out against Anaheim, but they scored 4 goals in their first game. 4 goals in the first 2 periods of the first game. So clearly there's something there. And they've had both their games too, I believe. They're generating offense, they're generating chances. So over 6 minus 108, I like. Over 5.5, the alternate on DK at least is minus 145. I don't think it's good enough for a standalone, but if you want to toss that in a parlay, guarantee some action, I don't think that's a bad pick either.
Yeah, so the over under 5.5 is the one that's listed, and then in the alternates, over 6.5 on FanDuel is plus 120. So you're getting a little bit better odds, actually quite a bit better odds than the over 6. And yeah, dude, I like the over. I think actually now that I look at it, the over 6.5. San Jose is going to score goals this year. They are. Like, I know that Celebrini is on the IR, so he won't be playing, but Toffoli, like, they got some goal scorers on that team. And so they are going to score goals this year. Dallas, I mean, the minus 2.5 should be trustworthy, but like I said, I do think that the Sharks are going to score goals. So I'm with you. I'd rather take an alternate over here, over 6.5. Like I said on FanDuel's plus 120. I prefer that one. Other than that, man, not really much to do with this game. Even the total for Dallas is 3.5 goals, and it's like minus 158. So there's really nothing else on the Dallas side of things to bet. But I do like that over 6.5 on the alternate, like you said, plus 120 on FanDuel. All right, moving on. Seattle, Nashville, plus 138 are the Kraken on the road. Again, these odds are moving a lot. We're live. I haven't been able to look at all. Plus 138 Seattle. When I typed this in, now 40 minutes later, it's plus 160. So I don't know what happened there, but it's plus 160 now. Minus 194 for the Predators. Minus 1.5 is plus 132. Plus 1.5 is minus 160 for the Kraken. Over 5.5, minus 128. Under plus 104. What do you do with this game? This is almost unbettable now. Although we're both pretty degenerate. I think unbettable. Don't underestimate us. We can find something.
There's always something. I mean, I really don't like anything about this game. These teams are combined 1-4-0, both coming off shutout losses on the road. So what do you really do here? Nashville, you expect to be the better team, but they haven't shown it. They haven't won a game. Seattle, they can't finish. Their only win was 5-4 in a shootout. And they just, I don't know. I take the over. Both teams got shut out. And if Ottawa versus LA taught us anything yesterday, it's that it's probably going to be like a 9-8 game now or something. I would honestly stay away from this. I don't want to touch this one.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I there's nothing that I really like. I mean, there's a couple goal scorers that I have my eye on for Nashville. Jonathan Marchessault has to break through here at some point. He's plus 200. Same with Steven Stamkos. He's plus 170. Philip Forsberg is always a good bet to score. He's plus 130. So there's a couple like that I do like to score. Gustav Nyquist, who had a really strong year last year with Nashville, he's plus 280. So there's some value in those goal scorers. Where was it? If we want to get a little bit long shotty, Ryan O'Reilly to get 3+ shots is plus 154. So there's some bets like that I really like, but I'm not picking a side. I'm not picking a total. I'm doing none of that. The one thing actually, now that I'm kind of talking and it's kind of coming into my head here. So Nashville total goals over 3.5 goals for Nashville is plus 102. And now that I think about it, that's actually a bet that I really, really like. Nashville over 3.5 at plus 102. This team is going to score goals this year, and they just haven't got in the rhythm yet, but they will. Will it happen tonight against Seattle? They're at home. I like it. Plus 102, Nashville over 3.5. I think that's my favorite bet in this game.
I like it.
All right. Moving on to, honestly, maybe my favorite game of the night. I'm really excited for this game, and I'm not overly sure why. I don't know. Chicago, Calgary, man. The two best teams in the NHL right now. Everybody knows that. And Chicago plus 120. This is respect. Chicago respect. I know Calgary, not a lot of people getting a lot of respect for Calgary, but plus 122 Chicago on the road. That's a little bit respectful, I think. Minus 146 for Calgary at home. Plus 1.5 for Chicago is minus 200. Minus 1.5 for the Flames, plus 164. Over is 6.5, plus 104. Under, minus 122. What do you got?
Well, first and foremost, Chicago to score first. You got to keep the train rolling, right?
Oh, yeah, dude. I hit again.
Early season. It's such a good bet. I don't know why people don't realize that they are plus 115 to score first. They're always plus money. Vegas never catches on. It's just one little trick. But in all seriousness, I think I like the Blackhawks in this game. I mean, I'm higher on the Blackhawks, I think, than most people. I like their goaltending more. I think we talked about this off air a little bit. We both like their goaltending more in this matchup for sure. They have enough offense, especially against the Calgary team, that, I mean, they gave up 5 in their opener. They gave up 3 in their second game. And then I want to give them props for holding Edmonton to 1, but Chicago held them to 2. Chicago's not a rival. They weren't as motivated, you would think. And on top of the fact the Oilers just are a mess right now. So Calgary's hasn't really been stopping pucks that great. I think Chicago can take advantage of that. I'm going to take the Blackhawks to win. I'm going to take them to score first. I'm going to take the over in this game.
Yeah, the total I'm indifferent on. I'm kind of staying away from that. I think the thought process goes like this for me, and I'm kind of battling back and forth. Calgary at home, that atmosphere is wild. On the surface, I really do like Calgary to win tonight. However, I do think that both of these offenses are going to get cooking tonight. I think they're both going to be lockstep. And I like Chicago's goaltending more than I like Calgary's. I think, like you just said that. So for me, I'm taking Chicago too. I do think Calgary could absolutely win tonight. And I like this Calgary team overall more than Chicago. But I think that both of these teams will score. And I think that Chicago's goaltending is just a little bit better right now than Calgary. So give me Chicago plus 122. Where is it here? I just had it up. If we're talking 60-minute line, Chicago's plus 190. A little bit risky. This game could absolutely go to overtime. But 60-minute line, Chicago plus 190. It's a little bit long, shoddy, but I like it. But Chicago plus 122. All right, let's wrap it up. One more game to get to, and then we'll get to our best bets. The Philadelphia Flyers. I've said it every time we talked about this team, starting the season on a West Coast road trip. Just awful. I haven't even seen. Is this it? I know we had this conversation. What's that?
Is this like their last game on the trip?
Yeah.
Nah, they still got Seattle.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What did Torts do to Gary Bettman to deserve this? Yeah, you're right. Thursday night in Seattle. That's brutal. All right. Philadelphia plus 184 on the road, continuing the trip. They're plus 160. All these odds, man, I don't know what's going on. They're now plus 164 on FanDuel. So that dropped significantly. Edmonton minus 225. They are now minus 200. Over 6.5 at minus 105, under minus 115, plus 1.5 for Philadelphia is minus 152, minus 1.5 for the Oilers is plus 126. What do you got, Philly, Edmonton?
Well, we just talked about how Edmonton's a mess, right? And I mean, if you're looking at this team, how they're going to get back on track is probably through power play scoring. They have 3 goals through 3 games. The power play is 1 for 5. The problem is, Philly has an elite PK. They didn't show it in Calgary, but they absolutely shut down Vancouver in that win. And that's what they've set the standard for. Just absolutely not budging when they go a man down, when they're shorthanded. I think that I liked it against Vancouver, so I picked them to win that game. I think it's going to be the reason I picked them to win tonight. The Oilers aren't finding the back of the net. The Oilers aren't getting on the power play, and they're not really succeeding on the power play. Philly can keep the offense in check, just like Calgary, just like Chicago, just like Winnipeg, and they will score just enough to pull out the win. I like the under. I like the Flyers money line.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. The total, I don't know, but I like Philly to win tonight, man. The thing is with the Oilers, and like I said, man, we did this last year. They ended up being, 2 goals away from winning the Stanley Cup. But as of right now, dude, they don't look good. And they're getting pumped in all these games. Like, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head if any of these games were close. I don't think they were, right? They lost 6-0 to the Jets, 5-2 to Chicago, and 4-1 to Calgary. All those, if my memory serves correctly. So they're getting pumped in all these games. So on the one hand, you would expect, okay, they're getting pumped 3 straight games. They're home again, which they're starting the season on a homestand, right? Like, I don't think they've been on the road yet this year. This was a great opportunity for them to get started on the right foot. So on the one hand, you can say, okay, the Oilers, they're at home, shelled 3 games straight. This is the night they bounce back. But watching these games, it hasn't really been that close. Like, they're just not, I don't know, man. They're not on the same page. They're not looking great. And it's one of those situations where until proven otherwise, I'm betting against them. And Philadelphia plus 164 now. It seems like everyone is thinking what we're thinking because those odds are coming down in a hurry. So, yeah, give me Philadelphia plus 164. And I do think, though, on the Edmonton side, Zach Hyman plus 130 for him. He's got to get a goal here at some point in time. Plus 130 for Zach Hyman. I like that goal. And Owen Tippett plus 230. We're not going to be able to enjoy Owen Tippett in the 200s for too long. So plus 230 for Owen Tippett to get a goal tonight as well. And I like Philadelphia on the money line. All right. Next up, let's wrap it up with our best bets brought to you by First Round Collectibles. Right now with our promo code Sports Addict, get 10% off whatever sports card you want in the entire First Round Collectibles store. Hockey, football, basketball, baseball, wrestling, boxing, whatever you want, they got it. Head to firstroundcollectibles.com today. That's the number 1. STRoundCollectibles.com. Promo code Sports Addict for 10% off your order. Andre, best bet. What do you got, man?
I've had this in my bet slip since we talked about it, and that was very early in the show. Vegas Golden Knights plus 110, 60-minute line. Just, we talked about it. They're playing very well. Washington is just Washington. We don't really know. Not a rollover and die team, but not a team that is going to threaten to beat the better teams. I think we saw that a lot last year. We've seen it this year in that Devils game. They lost 5-3. Did just enough to, think they had a chance, but not enough where it ever felt like the Devils weren't going to win. Whereas Vegas, 8-4 win over the Avs, 4-3 win over the Blues, 3-1 win over the Ducks. They're taking care of business. So I'm taking Vegas 60-minute line plus 110.
Love it. I love it. I'm all about that. Man, I'm torn between two here. The one you're not going to like, St. Louis to win. I do think they're going to win tonight. But you know what? I am going to go. Yeah, I'm going to go. Oh, where? Oh, yeah, here. Okay. Nashville Predators over 3.5 goals at plus 102. I think Nashville finally starts scoring goals tonight. They're over 3.5, like I said, plus 102 on FanDuel. It's a bit, I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit risky, but you don't really need them to win. You just need them to score 4 goals. And I think they can do it against the Seattle team. So give me that Nashville over 3.5 goals at plus 102. Getting a little deep in the props here on our second week into the show.
Hey, I bet Rangers over 3.5 yesterday and it hit, so I'll rub off some of my magic for you.
Love it.
I'll give you some of that energy.
Yeah, love it.
Got that one. What's our family play here? Trying to see what we agreed on.
On theme. Sorry, what were you going to say?
No, I was done. We're good.
I mean, do we want to risk it all on a Chicago first goal? Because if Calgary scores first, then we're screwed on our whole parlay. But I don't know. Or do we just want to take either Chicago or Philly on a money line?
I mean, does Chicago ever not score first? That's the question. We've been here before. We have before.
What I will say though is Chicago to score first is what, plus 115?
Yeah.
And for them to win is plus 122. So if we think Chicago's going to win, why don't we just throw a win on it?
Sound logic to me. And I have them at plus 130, so that's even better.
Ooh.
It's even better.
That's a big difference.
Yeah. So I don't know about you. My parlay, the DraftKings parlay, I guess it's not mine. It's plus 843. We'll go with Knights 60-minute line, Predators over 3.5 goals, and Blackhawks money line.
Yeah. On FanDuel, it is plus 864. So, yeah. 60-minute line, Nashville. Yeah.
2 days in a row.
Awesome. Absolutely love it. Have we hit one of these yet this year? I can't remember. It's still early days.
No. We've had a couple 2 or 3s. We haven't had the full trifecta yet. We're getting there, though. The family play, I will say the family play, I think, has only failed once.
Yeah, those keep hitting.
So,
yeah,
pay attention to those.
Well, and I'll tell you what, man, this is all plus money. So if you're throwing all these bets tonight are plus money. So if you got a little bit extra in that FanDuel account, DraftKings account, you throw, $10 on all of them. And you win 2 or 3, you get your money back. And if you win the whole parlay, then that's pretty good night. So why not throw $10 on all 3 bets and then do $10 on a parlay, and you could be looking at a pretty good night. But anyway, to everybody watching, we appreciate you very, very much. Shout out, obviously, to our guys at Total Apex Sports, totalapexsports.com. Check out the website for whatever sports you want. They're covering it. Of course, selfishly, the NHL department is cooking right now, so check out totalapexsports.com. First-roundcollectibles.com, promo code SportsAddict, 10% off. Have a great day. Good luck on your bets, and we will see you tomorrow.